It came to life at a particular moment in your professional and personal life, also as a mother. So tell me a little bit more about how the project came to be and what it is about.
I thought, well, to change human behavior at scale, you need to make it fun, you need to make it easy. And this particular topic, climate change, you need to take fear out of the equation and bring curiosity. So I try to connect people to trees in the city.
Hello and welcome to Looking Up with Up42, our official talk show with inspiring geospatial changemakers. My name is Viviana Laperchia. I'm a senior PR and communication manager at Up42. And today I have the pleasure to speak with Laura Lorenzo, founder and CEO of Green City Makers and winner of the ESA Frontier Tech Challenge and overall Copernicus Master Challenge 2022. Thank you, Laura, for being our guest today and welcome. First of all, congratulations on your great achievement. But before we delve into the details of your project of Green City Makers, I'm really curious about your background. You have an interesting mix of anthropology, agricultural engineering, service innovation, and design. So can you tell me a little bit more about your journey until now?
Well, thank you very much for the invitation, first of all. Diana, it's a pleasure to be here. For many years, it has been very difficult for me to explain still now, it's very difficult for me at times to convey what something that makes all the sense to me could be quite strange for others. Why an agricultural engineer studies land planning and urbanism, why this person studies anthropology and then service innovation and design. Well, for me, something that has always triggered me is understand the problems because I'm a problem solver. So that is very easy. Engineering comes in, very easy to explain that. But understand the problems, it's not about technology, it's about the people. And you need to empathize with the people. And the best tool, if you will, the best framework, the best mindset to do that, the best studies for doing that is anthropology. And then you have service design and innovation, which pretty much is based on design thinking. And that is a set of tools that also helps you to engage and empathize with the end user. Another element that explains why I have this background is because I always wanted to understand how humankind approaches Earth with the two most important, transforming capacity that are the activities of farming, agriculture, and the activities that building cities, urban planning. And that's what I did is those studies because the way we engage with these realities are very different. And I want to understand that as well. So one is agriculture, and you have a lot of techniques and frameworks that are used, and the approach is has a very clear perspective of production and efficiency and yield. And then you have land planning, which the frameworks are used, the methods that are used to engage with the reality are very different. So that's what I did both. I have used all that to engage with the problems that I faced, and then I used technology to change human behavior at scale. That's what I use anthropology for.
Great, thank you for the overview, and I really see how you're trying to put everything together so everything works as an ecosystem, as part of an ecosystem. So I really like what you're doing. Now let's go back to Green City Makers. I would like to know a little bit more about your project. I remember from our first conversation that it came to life at a particular moment in your professional and personal life, also as a mother. So tell me a little bit more about how the project came to be and what it is about.
So all these disciplines that I presented before, I have used them to change human behavior at scale. Before my journey with Green City Makers and as a climate tech entrepreneur, I used to work with a unicorn, tech unicorn. And I was helping the tech unicorn to understand the customer needs, the end user needs, and changing that behavior for internally to engage better with the customer and understand better the customer, so on and so forth. I became a mother, as you were saying, and I was a keynote speaker at many conferences in the convergence of design and human behavior. And in one of those conferences, I was a keynote speaker. There was another keynote speaker talking at that moment, and he was talking about climate change. And he presented the consequences of our actions and inactions. And I was so surprised because I thought I knew, and I realized I didn't. And I was thinking of my children. What is the future for my children? What is the goal of making the rich richer if we don't make sure there is a planet that we can live and thrive and enjoy and share? So I quit. It was a very sweet moment in my career. And I started my path as a climate tech entrepreneur. And what it makes sense to me is, again, changing human behaviors at scale. And what I realized is that people are increasingly fearful of the future because of climate change, particularly children. Actually, it's becoming a plague. And cities don't know what to do about it. And cities are the hubs of population in the world, but also the hubs of climate change, because it's where the greenhouse gas emissions concentrates the most. But as surprising as that is, more surprising it is that there are not any revenue stream for cities to adapt and mitigate to the consequences of climate change, because they are at the international national level. So I realized that, oh my God, maybe I can do something about it. And I thought, well, to change human behavior at scale, you need to make it fun, you need to make it easy. And this particular topic, climate change, you need to take fear out of the equation and bring curiosity. So I try to connect people to trees in the city. And when they do that, they gain a new friend, the tree buddy, as we call it, and they become green city makers. And they just need to do something that they already exist in their lives, which is water a street tree. As we do that, we create a huge community in the world. We are in 54 cities already, in 3 continents. People watering the trees because it has been proved by recent scientific evidence that trees are dying in cities. When trees are not dying, trees are thriving. And trees thriving means that they are sequestering carbon, they are sequestering air pollution, they are filtering the air we breathe. They grow, and they grow means that they cast a fantastic shade, and that reduces the heat island effect. All this is important for cities to mitigate and adapt, but also it's important to know that trees can become a revenue stream for cities, as the new tree planting schemes that cities are doing as a mega trend are subject to voluntary carbon credits. But the hustle and the problems around how to create a marketplace and how to benefit from the voluntary carbon markets, which is a very tricky market as for now, as it is now, prevents cities to benefit from it. So here's where we come. With our tree watering campaigns, where we engage with citizens and also using space data, IoT, machine learning, and AI, we are able to develop this marketplace and develop another tools for the cities to make better decisions for adapting and preventing the impact of climate change in the cities. And we create this revenue stream for them to fund their net zero path, which right now it's very hard for them to get any money for that.
Thank you. Yes, first of all, it's a great story. Thanks for sharing, and I'm really impressed with how you managed to bring it to life and to take it to the level that it is today. It's a very great initiative. So my understanding is that Green City Makers relies on open sources, AI models, and remote sensing to understand where are the urban trees that lack irrigation and calculate their water needs. By the same token, UP42 is also trying to make geospatial data and analytics more easily available, mainly derived from satellite imagery, to help solve these kind of issues, the real issues in real world issues. So how do you see platforms like UP42 enable projects like Green City Makers or similar green initiatives and help them make an impact on the planet? Where do you see the convergence?
Well, when you bring to the conversation space data, remote sensing, people get like this, right? Because they don't have the experience. They think, oh my God, this is way too much. And I think the UP42, that's a tremendous good job in making this very easy. Not only because it gives you access to this data in a very clear manner, but also gives you the platform to build the algorithms that you can put on top to make decisions, to make knowledge out of data, right? Giving this layer of understanding and insights. And you can do it very easily with UP42. And for many projects where you weren't thinking of using space data, remote sensing, you can get a lot of benefits out of it. And there is platforms like yours that make that very easy. And you don't need to have, super mega skills. And that's very important. You make this entry level, this blank page syndrome not to be present because, you have previous experience using this type of data. Which is very, very good because technology data is a tremendous useful tool, but at times we think it is too hard to use and too difficult to achieve, too convoluted because of the lingo is different. But that's what UP42 does. It makes that very, very simple. It takes all those elements of complexity out of the equation, which I think is tremendously effective and helpful.
I agree. And it kind of reminds me of what you're doing with climate change. You're removing the fear factor and you're bringing the curiosity back in. That's also like a very nice analogy. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us. Thank you for being our guest. I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you did, please do come back to watch our next episode and visit up42.com to learn more about UP42, geospatial platform and marketplace. Thank you, Laura, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.